2023 to order. We will stand for a Pledge of Allegiance and ending for a moment of silence.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Mr. Sabosley, roll call, please.
Mr. Delaney is not present. Mr. Dern?
Here.
Mr. Doyle?
Here.
Mr. Hadley?
Here.
Mr. Seitz?
Here.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Vento?
Here.
And Mayor Schlegel is not present. We do have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. I'll entertain a motion to approve the Treasurer's Report for the month of September 2023.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Dern.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Hadley. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Also entertain a motion to approve the expenses for the month of September 2023.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Taylor.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dern. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Need a motion to approve the minutes of the September 11th, 2023 council meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Hadley.
Second.
Second by Mr. Seitz. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Time for recognition of achievements in the community. Mr. Mayor is not here. Did the deputy mayor have anything to? No? Okay. So we'll move along.
Later in the meeting, I have his report.
Okay.
Fill the
Moving along to
whole thing.
civic announcements. Whoever would like to go first.
Hi, I'm Pam from the Plum Library. I just want to update you all on our success.
You have to push the button, sorry.
Am I-
Yep, that's it.
Oh, and then, okay.
There you go.
It's magic.
Hi, I'm Pam Calfo, the director at the Plum Library. I want to update you all on a few things. First is the success of our summer reading program this past year. For June, July, and August, we held 129 programs, all free, for those just 3 months, and we had almost 3,000 people attend different programs at the library. Our big program coming up is on Wednesday, October 25th, in partnership with the Plum Community Center. We're having Trunk or Treat. Registration opens on Monday, October 16th. It will fill up, so if anyone knows any kids, families that want to attend, it's a great event every year. And then the last thing is, I just want to thank Plum EMS again. They did CPR and defibrillator training for staff at our staff development day. So Brian and his team always does a great job, so it was great to have them out again training our staff. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pam.
Thanks, Pam.
Good evening.
She turned you off.
Okay, hi, good evening. I'm Karen Hochberg. I'm the director of the Plum Community Center. I'd like to spend a couple minutes tonight. I promise it won't take long, but our year ends in June. We start a new year in July. And I wanted to go over some of the amount of people that we're serving at the community center. Right now, last year, our average daily attendance was 93 folks. For the year, we had 992 individuals attend, unique individuals attend. We got over 300 new members. We served, believe it or not, 20,000 meals through home-delivered meals and congregant lunches. And we had 4,200 hours of volunteers from 281 volunteers. So the center continues to grow. I wanted to thank you, and even last month alone, our average daily attendance was 118 people. We average daily 16 different activities. So I want people watching to know that you can come to the center and do a lot of things at the center. Exercise, crafts, lunch, cards. We have a variety of lunch and learns. It's really a vibrant place, and I want to thank you for your contributions to the center. In particular, last year you approved a grant that we got, and we made some more improvements to the inside of the center. We repainted and put a new floor in one of the other exercise rooms. And we've expanded our exercise program such that we even have afternoon activities now. and go beyond silver sneakers. So anybody who wants to do drums or other kind of cardio, please look on our website. And the other thing I want to thank you for, in addition to helping us keep the building up to date, is the marketing efforts that we have, that Dave, we were able to upgrade our social media presence, and the borough paid for a marketing consultant that allowed us to have a 360 tour of the building. So if anybody is at home wondering what the inside of the Plum Community Center looks like, please go to plumcommunitycenter.com or Google us, and you'll be able to, on Google, take a virtual tour of the center, which helps, for rentals and for people being familiar before they come into the center. So I have an announcement to make to the community that in 2024, the center is no longer going to offer free tax returns. AARP used to do tax returns at Plum Community Center. Last year we cut back to 1 day because increasingly it's difficult to find volunteers. And in addition, the people we serve doing those tax returns, over 60% of the people aren't from Plum. I know we're going to be getting great pushback from that, so if you're out in the community and you hear people are upset because we are not doing tax returns, we have good rationale for why we're discontinuing the program. So I wanted to make that announcement, and we will make sure that those that did sign up and let us know that they were there, we will be able to get letters out to the people who had their taxes done in the last 3 years to let them know and try to indicate to them where they might be able to go. That's it. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Again, thank you very much. Oh, and the other thing that I'll be coming back to you, hopefully for approval, I'm working with Dave. We're going to submit a grant to the state for possibly a new roof on the community center, or we'll prioritize some other projects that we want done, and the center can seek grants through a senior grant. But we'll need your approval saying that we will be in that building for the next 10 years if we're gonna do capital improvements to the building. So I just want you to know that that may be coming. Other than that, thank you. Sorry to take so long.
Any other civic announcements? Seeing none, moving along to President's comments, which I have none this evening. So we'll go to citizens' comments on agenda items.
There were none.
Thank you, Dave. Moving along to council actions. Who's reading Mr. Delaney's tonight?
Me.
Mr. Hadley, on behalf of the Planning and Economic Development.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the Planning and Economic Development Committee, I move to approve the submission of a project management proposal to the PA Office of Budget for the U.S. Open Bridge at Oakmont Country Club project.
Motion by Mr. Hadley.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dern. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And on behalf of the Planning and Economic Development Committee, I move to accept the Piverado Lot Line Revision FSC-03-23 Lot and Block 1102-C-380 as complete.
Motion by Mr. Hadley. Seconded by Mr. Taylor. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That is all for Planning and Economic Development.
Thank you, Mr. Hadley. We'll keep you on the spot there on behalf of the Personnel Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the Personnel Management Committee, excuse me, I move to approve a cost of living adjustment for a retired police officer as recommended by the Borough Actuary.
Motion by Mr. Hadley.
Second.
Second by Mr. Seitz. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On behalf of the Personnel Management Committee, I move to approve the Director of Borough HAP's job description as recommended by staff.
Motion by Mr. Hadley.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dern. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And finally, on behalf of the Personnel Management Committee, I move to approve the 2023 administrative salaries as recommended by the Personnel Committee.
Motion by Mr. Hadley.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Seitz. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That is all I have. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Hadley. On behalf of the Public Safety Committee, Mr. Dern.
Thank you, Mr. Doyle. I move to approve a 2-year contract with Hoffman Kennels effective January 1st, 2024.
Motion by Mr. Dern.
Second that.
Seconded by Mr. Taylor. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I move to accept the civil service recommendation to advertise an examination for entry-level police officers.
Motion by Mr. Dern.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Vento. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And lastly, I move to accept the civil service recommendation to advertise an internal examination for first and second line supervisors.
There's a motion by Mr. Dern. Seconded by Mr. Hadley. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And that's all I have, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dern. On behalf of the Roads, Equipment, and Grounds Committee, Mr. Vento.
Thank you, Mr. Doyle.
We're gonna add doing skips.
Oh, okay, sorry.
We have to make a motion to add it.
All right, Mr. Seitz,
I got it.
to add to the agenda.
So on behalf of the Parks and Recreation Committee, I move to add to the agenda a motion to appoint a representative to the Verona, Oakmont, Plum, Penn Hills Trail Group.
With motion by Mr. Seitz.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Vento. All in favor of adding to the agenda?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Mr. Seitz.
Do you want to ask if anyone's got any comment?
Oh, this
As
is,
usual.
yeah. Watch how many people come up. Being that we're adding to the agenda, the public can come up and make comment about this addition. Okay, seeing none, Mr. Seitz.
On behalf of the Parks and Rec Committee, I move to appoint Skip Taylor as council rep to the Verona, Oakmont, Plum, Penn Hills Trail Group.
We have a motion by Mr. Seitz.
Seconded.
Second by Mr. Dern. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. Taylor.
Too late, that's why we seconded it.
Add your chance.
Great, thank you, Mr. Seitz. Mr. Vento, on behalf of the Roads, Equipment, and Grounds Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Doyle. On behalf of the Roads, Equipment, and Grounds Committee, I move to approve Resolution 964-23, authorizing staff to submit a grant application to the PA Sites Program.
Motion by Mr. Vento. Second by Mr. Taylor. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Also, on behalf of the committee, I move to approve Resolution 965-23, changing the name of Old Mine Road to Michael Thomas Way.
Motion by Mr. Seitz, seconded by Mr. Dern. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Vento. Oh, here we go. Even though the mayor is absent, he has left a report. And Mr. Dern drew the short straw, so
Thank you, Mr. Doyle.
you're welcome.
It won't be as long as the mayor's usually is. Just real quick, uniformed patrol officers responded to 838 calls for service during the month of September. This was an approximate 4.6 increase from the previous month. On September 30th, the Plum Police Department participated in the borough's Fall Festival event. Chief Conley, Sergeant Demaria, Officer Luther, Officer Benicki, and Officer Troy provided traffic and event safety for the attendees, as well as provided rides on the police golf cart. Candy and glow-in-the-dark wristbands provided by District Attorney Zappala's office. Officer Kurtz, the department's certified drone pilot, also provided an aerial overview of the event. This is the third year that the police department has participated in the event, and it was estimated that over 400 golf cart rides were provided to those in attendance. And lastly, thoughtful citizens. This is Harry's favorite thing. On September 3rd, Pat and Stan Kaczmansky dropped off a box of assorted chips for officers in recognition of Labor Day and as a thank you for officer service to the community. On September 11th, Dunkin' Donuts of Plum dropped off donuts and coffee to officers in appreciation of all our officers' hard work and dedication. On September 11th, Verizon manager and Plum resident Jason Stevens arranged to provide lunch for our department in recognition of 9/11 and the continued service our officers provide daily. Jason and his crew brought in at least 12 large pizzas from Le Lulu's for officers and administrative staff members. And lastly, on September 16th, Janet Abdulovic and her son Derek provided personalized gift bags for each officer in the department. And Janet is part of the National Thank a Police Officer Day Allegheny-Kiski Valley team. The team organizer is Felicia Janad. The NTAPOD organization has recognized our officers for many years now. Included in the personalized gift bags were police-themed laser-engraved pocket knives, honor, duty, commitment, notepads, pens, gum, candy. chapstick, and numerous handwritten cards from children in Plum and surrounding municipalities. And on behalf of Council, I'd like to reach out to our Chief Conley for inviting all of Council down to partake in all those goodies that he had delivered to the department through the month. Thank you, Chief. That is it.
Thank you, Mr. Dern. I don't know why he doesn't invite the mayor down to do that.
I know why.
He must wait till he's out of town. Moving along to committee reports. The Intergovernmental Cooperative Committee with the Plum Boro School District. Has there been a meeting or anything set up?
We didn't really have a meeting. We'll probably have one next month.
Great. Finance Committee, Mr. Seitz.
Thank you, Mr. Doyle. In September, the borough recognized revenues totaling $4.2 million and incurred expenditures in the amount of $1 million. The revenues included, real estate tax revenues, which are currently at 89% of the adopted budget. Revenues from the state pension fund, which will end the year at 109% of the budget. And the earned income tax, we're currently at 85% of the budget. Overall revenues are trending slightly above budget for the year. On the expenditure side, to date, the borough has expended 74% of the budget, or $11 million. From a departmental standpoint, the only budgetary concern is that the insurance on the borough and buildings is running slightly over budget at 103%. This is associated with additional insurance costs and operating costs with the new facilities. The finance director and the borough manager have met with the department heads for the 2024 budget, and that will be presented to the finance committee next month. And the proposed budget for 2024 will be presented to council at the November meeting. And that's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Seitz. Mr. Vento on Roads, Equipment, and Grounds Committee. Sorry, say that 3 times fast.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. The Roads, Equipment, and Grounds Committee report for October is as follows. The 2023 paving project is nearly completed. Davidson Road will be done during mid-October overnight due to the numerous businesses on the road. Renton Park Phase 3 project is progressing. The fencing around the pickleball and basketball courts is installed. The courts are coated and lined. Landscaping for the amphitheater will be completed by the Public Works Department. This work will take priority in order to have grass planted before the end of the growing season. Pipe was installed or replaced along Anderson Avenue and Presque Isle Drive. Inlets are repaired and are cleaned on Rep Road, Anderson Avenue, Holiday Park Drive, Salzburg Road, Crystal Drive, Fiesta Drive, Logan's Ferry Road, Old Leechburg Road, Salzburg Road, Sardis Road, Frankstown Acres, Kellywood Estates, Old Farm Briarwood Estates, and Rockland Manor. So pretty much all over the community. The cleanup for 3235 Universal Road was started. The house on the property burned down last December. The large number of tires on the property are being removed by a tire disposal company. Once empty, the buildings will be removed and the site will be graded and seeded. And I'll tell you, I go by there a couple times a day normally, and what a big difference it's made. I went by there yesterday, and they did have all the tires but a few. They must have filled up their truck and had to come back for another load. But I was amazed at the size of the pile of tires that was there that they dragged up from down over the hill.
Yeah, I think there were a few tires with rims on them that they wouldn't take, so we.
Oh, that might be them then, okay. But looks like the job's going really well. Looks like 100% better already, the area. Lastly, the preventive maintenance and inspections were performed on 10 pieces of equipment and trucks and 9 police vehicles. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Vento. Public Safety Committee, Mr. Dern.
Thank you, Mr. Doyle. First off, trick or treat will be observed Tuesday, the 31st, from 6 to 8. Stormwater Task Force report, the O-Block Pond, all the permits have been successfully obtained. Construction drawings and specifications are being completed this month, and it will be priced and it will be put into the 2024 budget to be completed. The Center Beach project, during the month of September, all the easements were sent out, and hopefully some of them have not come back yet, but most of them have been completed. And once we get them from all the affected property owners, the submission for the dam permit and the joint permit and NPDES permit will occur concurrently. And Mr. Maloney, if you would come give the EMS report, please.
All right. Do I have to touch?
Yes.
Push to talk? Yeah, I'm not that slow, but, all right. Brian Maloney, Director of Operations, Plum EMS. As always, I appreciate the opportunity to be here this evening. For the month of September, we had a pretty steady or busy month. I ran a total of 263 calls. We ended up transporting 154 of those patients. We ended up responding to neighboring communities 29 times throughout the month. 22 of those resulted in transports to the hospital as well. And the need for mutual aid to come into Plum occurred 10 times throughout the month. So for all of the EMS calls that Plum Boro needed for the month of September, we turned over 4.9% of those to mutual aid. But once again, we always have that system in place. That way an ambulance is there if you ever need it. Now, as far as some of the stuff we got going, actually right now in the banquet room, we got a Connet, and this is my planning, not realizing Monday was Columbus Day, and this meeting got rescheduled, but October is actually Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And so we're doing a Con Ed session next door with police, fire, and EMS, pretty much helping first responders recognize, respond to, and refer victims of domestic violence. So we have a social or caseworker over there helping us because we don't get much training when we go through our EMT or paramedic education on how to deal with these types of situations. So we do everything we can to try to help our people be prepared to help our patients and sometimes their families. So along with running emergency calls over the month, we ended up having in September our 5th annual car seat safety clinic, which was another huge success. We did a total of 25 car seat safety checks. We gave away 4 free car seats, and this was only successful because of the participation from everybody. We had the Borough IT help me out with registration and PR. The administration do so much push for, to try to get people to be aware of this. We had the police department out there as well. We had a police officer from the city of Pittsburgh there. I mean, it was so many different people that came together to help make this a success. We also had the opportunity to be a part of the 2023 Plum Fall Fest. And we actually started our toy donation drive for that Stuff a Bus event there. And we already got a box filled with toys, so that was pretty neat to see as well. Tomorrow night, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the banquet room, we are doing our annual flu vaccine clinic. And so you just have to be at least 18 years of age. This is not the senior dose, which I think that's like a double dose. I'm not exactly sure the terminology on that one, but they are free. Supplies are limited. You don't need an appointment. Just show up between 6 and 8 for that. If you can't make that one, we are doing another one on Saturday, October 21st at the YMCA, at the Sampson Family YMCA, from 10 to 12. So if you're there, you can go ahead and get that. Now, the other incredible thing in September, we had 2 significant things happen with Plum EMS. First, Andre Acey, who is one of our EMTs, been with us for 14 years. He received one of the EMS Star of Life Awards from the Pennsylvania EMS Provider Foundation. Dawn Marie Dern got it last year, and this year, Andre was one of 14 professionals, EMS professionals in the state to get this recognition. It's for the amount of time he's been working in EMS, but this is a gentleman who, similar like Dawn Marie, goes above and beyond for his patients, his partners, the community. He's a great one to have a part of our organization. I'm extremely proud of him. To have one of 14 throughout the state, just incredibly proud. Now, the other remarkable accomplishment Plum's had this past month, we actually received a National Safety and EMS Award, the only one in the country, because of the steps that we've taken to improve the safety for our crews, our patients, and the community by appropriately using lights and sirens. We did this by decreasing the use because an ambulance is one of the most dangerous vehicles out on the roadway the moment we turn our lights and sirens on. We increase our likelihood of getting into a wreck 50% on the way to a call. And when transporting a patient to the hospital, it triples. And I'm not a gambling man, but those numbers sound horrible. And so we've really taken the steps to improve that without jeopardizing our response times and without jeopardizing any clinical outcomes of our patients. And so I cannot say enough for the team at Plum EMS for what they've done, because they went to bat on this and they just crushed it. They knocked it out of the park. It was one of those things that I actually got to go down to New Orleans to give this award. Tough sacrifice on my part. I wish I could have brought the whole team with me because they're the ones that deserved it. And I can't tell you how proud I am of each and every one. We've been referenced as the poster child for the rest of the country for what the accomplishments that we've done here in Plum. So, if you ever see one of those Plum EMS folks, give them a thumbs up for the steps that they take to try to help make sure they not only take care of themselves, the patient, but the community around us. So, questions, comments, finger gestures, or a story to make me smile?
I would just ask you, at least on my behalf, I'm sure everybody else, I'd just thank them for everything they do over there. It's constant, I know, but it is something that maybe we don't say enough. I know I don't get a chance to, but you guys are really, you're hitting it out of the park. So thank you. And
I'll do that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, been saying for years, our first responders, not just you guys, but the firemen in our place are world class, and we're lucky to have you. So thanks, Brian, for everything you do.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Brian. And I have one last thing. We met with the fire chiefs and the water authority regarding the incident that happened back in August. And some of the things that were discussed were the hydraulics. Mr. Michael was there as our borough engineer, and he explained the hydraulics for the pressure when the firemen open fire hydrants. We discussed the truck fill locations, practice locations, and coming forward, anytime that there is a structural fire, the Plum Boro Municipal Authority would like to be contacted so they can increase the water that is put into our system. And so we exchanged numbers with the fire chiefs and the supervisors and the assistant managers, and moving forward, each structure fire, the water authority will be put on notice so they can make sure that the water is where it needs to be. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Dern. Mr. Hadley, Planning and Economic Development Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. For Planning and Economic Development Report, the Community Development Department issued 43 permits in September. The Zoning Hearing Board met in September to hear 2 applications. The Planning Commission met to discuss and hear testimony on 5 submissions. Staff attended hearings at the magistrate for 2 locations regarding 1 zoning use violation and 2 junk and debris. In addition to the continually updating the GIS map, staff met with Olympus Energy to discuss the Midas to Hermes waterline project and met with Bill McIntosh, a potential developer for indoor pickleball courts on Pennant Drive. And finally, code enforcement completed 64 residential and apartment occupancy inspections and addressed 14 complaints in September. And that is all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Hadley. Parks and Recreation Committee, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Trimming and grass maintenance was ongoing at the Borough Parks and Facilities. Fall Fest preparations were ongoing through the month of September for the event that took place on Saturday, September 30th at Plum Creek Park. The weather was great and the event had a very wonderful turnout of people. A no parking area was designated and marked off at Larry Mills Park to restrict parking around the island in the middle of the upper parking lot near the soccer concession stand. Repairs were made to the poured in play surface at Larry Mills Park Playground. Repairs were completed by All Play Plus. Annual inspections of backflow preventers were performed at multiple sites. Borough HAP's upcoming events include open pickleball on Saturday, October 21st, beginning at 8 a.m. in the gymnasium. You can sign up online. And a Halloween party will be held on Saturday, October 28th at 2 p.m. Will include crafts, games, and the movie Happy Halloween Scooby-Doo. And Dave, is that also going to be at the gymnasium?
Yes, it will be.
Okay. And one last thing, I was wondering if we could keep the deputy mayor until the first of the year. That's it.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
We all get invited down all the goodies, absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. That ends committee reports. Next on the agenda would be citizens' comments on non-agenda items. No one has signed up, but that's not precluding anybody from coming up. Okay, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Dern, second by Mr. Hadley. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all.